Hello everybody, Patrick Glenn Nichols here with Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds, and I'm here with another very special 1970 Chevelle SS454 LS6 barn find. As you can see, there's a big collection here of muscle cars, but for this particular video, we're going to concentrate on this LS6 barn find that has just surfaced just a few days ago here in Central Virginia. I'll try to do a separate video later of the rest of the collection, but right now we're going to concentrate on this 1970 Chevelle LS6, which is another code 63 desert sand with black vinyl top. This car has saddle bucket seat interior. And what makes this car really special, and if those of you who are not familiar, there is a LS6 national registry, and from the Atlanta, Georgia assembly plant, there are 47 entries, and this would be the 48th. But the special part about this car is this is the earliest known LS6 from the Atlanta assembly plant to surface to date. There are other LS6s that are known to have been before this car, but their whereabouts are not known, or the car is, or whether or not the car is still in existence or not, is not known. This is not the pilot car from Atlanta, but this is very early, and it's again, the earliest known documented LS6 from Atlanta, Georgia. I will do a total walk around video of this car like I always do and run down the cowl tag. This car is also a numbers matching car. The engine, the transmission, rear axle is still in the car. This is a 410 posi traction car as well with heavy duty radiator. Really nice car. This car also, I assisted today with trying to start this car, and this car does run. We started the car just moments ago. I will try to start the car for you for this video and try to be successful with that to show you that the car runs. So here we go. Try to show you some really neat characteristics of this car. The exhaust has been changed, of course. You can see that these cars did have exhaust tips and resonators. One neat little characteristic about this car, those of you that are familiar, the backup light, you see the bubble on this side, that's the second design. So it does look like that this tail light on this side has been changed, or it come with one of each. This is a third week of December assembled car, so this should have the early design that was discontinued, which is flat in the middle. For the that it didn't reflect enough light evidently, and they recalled that, and they issued the second version with the bubble. Car does have some rust. It has been off the road since roughly the mid 1980s. You can see it's in day 2 form, and it was drag raced from time to time, and from what I understand, it run mid 12s with no problem. I do believe the car has been spot painted here and there, and it does have some primer spots where the owner tried to at least take care of the car the best he could where any rust would surface. The owner to this car bought this car from the guy who owned this car since 1970. He was not the original owner, but he purchased this car in May of 70, which would have been the second owner. And we'll go in the passenger side first this time. You see the car does have a Hurst shifter that has been changed. Car is a tack and gauge car, 4-speed D55 console. And we searched for the build sheet behind the driver's door panel, and a partial amount of that build sheet was there, but not enough to show the entire VIN. But it does show 454 LS6 and some of the codes that correspond with the LS6 engine and transmission and so forth and so on. There's no build sheet behind the passenger door, but the doors open and shut sound really well. Around this way, and you can see it's got some day 2 Kraggers on it, and it does have a little rust at the lower portion of the fenders. Really super car here. Some light on the hood. You see the dust and the dirt and the buildup from it's been sitting for so long. And I do believe that it has probably, there's been a situation, an accident, because it appears that the grill has been changed. There's no gold on the center bar whatsoever. And there is just some discrepancy on the radiator support on this car. It is not the heavy duty radiator support, but the car did come with the big radiator. That portion of the build sheet is present, and the CRW rear axle 410 is present as well. So through my investigation, I believe there's a possibility that the radiator support on this car has been changed. Or around this side of the car as well. And you can see the mirrors have been changed. They did not come with those big mirrors. It just had a single mirror on the driver's side. And it was chrome, rectangular. Car shows 95,000 original miles with the correct 6,500 RPM redline tachometer. And we'll focus on the 95,674. Just an AM radio and no right rear speaker. And seat belts, 43rd week, 69, that's correct. And remember in a previous video where I talked about a vinyl top, where the vinyl is directly to the vinyl to steel? Well, here's an example of that. That's the way it was right there. No foam. And also I spoke about the seam back here in the back. It'll be over by the chrome where the edge met. And you can see it's never been changed, and that's where the seam is supposed to be. Code 63, desert sand, B, black vinyl top, cowl induction, black stripes. Now, let's go and address some features under the hood, as we usually do. One more good shot of the front side of the car. This is a very, very nice garage. Nice location to do this video. Okay, you can see we put a carburetor on this car just moments ago to try to fire the car up, and it did start. So the car did have the correct hood pins for the Atlanta. It's in the correct location. You can see what we spoke about before, the heavy duty radiator top plate and the heavy duty radiator. I'll try to focus now in on the radiator code, the PA code. And you can see it right there. And in between the X and the J, up here you see an M for December, which coincides or corresponds with a December 3rd week built car. The 837 alternator is still in place, but it's really dated about 8 or 9 months behind the car. You can see 1100, 837, 9 for 1969, C for March, and the 24th special high performance alternator. And that is loose, so I can bring you the original, if we can focus on the factory stamp. You can believe you can see it a little bit right there. (1205) CRV, so December the 5th CRV, and the correct smaller font Atlanta VIN sequence stamp on the front of the engine block as well. So this is a numbers matching LS6 Chevelle. Get the metal inner fenders were correct. Cowl induction solenoid is in the correct location for an Atlanta car. 756 windshield wiper motor is still in place. If we can focus on that. Dated the 316th day of 1969, first assembly line, second shift. 316th day of 1969, that puts it into November, which is definitely correct. Now let's run over the cowl tag like we normally do. Okay, 70 for 1970, 13637, two-door hardtop. A for the Atlanta, Georgia assembly plant designation. And then the body number, I believe that to be a 15922, which will be in box 8 on the build sheet. 771 for saddle, bucket seat interior. B80, B90 for the window trim, specific to an Atlanta, Georgia built car. 63 desert sand lower, B vinyl top, black upper, 12C for the third week of December 1969. This is definitely an early built 70 Chevelle, and the rest of these figures are data figures that we've been over before that are combinations of box 10 and box 24 on the build sheet. One more thing that we've been over before, but I'd like to show you again, is an early built high performance car, special high performance solid lifter car will have a single gas line. And if you can look in a smaller 727, which they call the short pump, you can see there's only one line coming out of that frame. That is very important on a special high performance car. All special high performance cars that are early cars on the 70 Chevelle must have the 727 fuel pump, which is the short version. The 768 version did not come in the special high performance cars until about March or February or March, depending on assembly plant. That's very important. Which the 768 had a dual fuel line. One of them was a return, and that was offered all year long on the hydraulic cam cars. So when you see a single gas line, that's positively has to be there for it to be a special high performance 70 Chevelle solid lifter car. And see, the special high performance pulleys are still in place, and on an Atlanta car we have evidence of a non-dated version of the 7-blade, which most refer to it as an 064 fan. Really hard to find. Still present. But this is a day 2 car. It had ladder bars and air shocks were assembled or put on this car later on. Now, try to start this car for you and see what happens. We might get it to start just for a split second. Let's try from inside. it does run, folks. Sitting since the 1980s, and we worked on this car for the last hour or so, and that engine sounds really healthy. Really, really healthy, actually, to be sitting all that time. Now, let's go up with the car and see if we can look at some of the undercarriage. Okay, now first thing I want to show you is the CRW axle, which is the 410. You can see 1204, so the 4th of December, Buffalo, New York, second shift. So this rear axle went from Buffalo, New York to Atlanta, Georgia by the 3rd week of December and made it into this car. Really neat. And the casting date is L1, so it was cast on December the 1st, December the 1st it was cast, and then on the 4th it was built into a rear axle assembly. Now on the Muncie M22 transmission, if we can focus on that and not get burnt on this header, which might be a little warm, we have P for Muncie, 0 for 70, S for November, which would be November of 69, 0 for 70 is the model year, 18th, so November the 18th, and C for Muncie M22. Really neat. Some other little quick, determined it has the correct 700 and 701. You can see, if I can focus here on the brake calipers, code 701, 700 for left, and the blue bleeders, the plastic that are the protectors, and you can see they are blue right there, right there. That is blue. You see, blue bleeders. That's why that's called a blue bleeder. That's from the factory. Those were put there as protectors. And the 701 on this side as well. Nice car. And here's the radiator support that I believe has been changed. It does not have the correct tab for the PA coated 4-row radiator. And it definitely was born originally with a 4-row radiator. I hope you have enjoyed the video of this really nice 70s Chevelle. Again, this is the earliest known 70s Chevelle LS6 to surface from the Atlanta, Georgia assembly plant, dated 3rd week of December 1969. Has the earliest VIN sequence of the 47 that are registered in the National LS6 registry. Really neat car. Just surfaced a few days ago here in Central Virginia. I'm Patrick Glenn Nichols with Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds. I can be reached on Facebook and YouTube at Patrick Glenn Nichols Muscle Car Barn Finds. If you need assistance authenticating your 1970 Chevelle, please reach out to me on Facebook or YouTube, or I can be emailed at pnichols26@yahoo. You can also reach out to me if you have a rare find. Not necessarily have to be a Chevelle or a 70s Chevelle. It can be a Camaro, a Mopar, a Ford. If something that's a rare muscle car find, please reach out to me with that option as well. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you very much for watching. More videos on the way.